and good evening. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in and spending a little time with us. It's Wednesday, and it's today's date that is ingrained forever in our hearts and in our minds. A day that we as individuals and together as a nation have paused to remember and carried heavy in our hearts and on our minds throughout the morning and afternoon, the emotions, the sorrows, the prayers, and heartache and shock that we felt on this morning 12 years ago, a morning defined as being one unlike any other in the history of America, a day that saw the lives lost of 2,977 Americans, men, women, children, while families and friends were left behind after attacks that shocked but did not break the foundations that this country was built on, as we mark 12 years since September the 11th of 2001. Thank you all for being a part of the program. There were some ceremonies in and around the area, none locally, but we do know that this year, as has been every year since, was marked by honoring those lives lost and looking ahead to rebuilding and recovering from the worst attack on American soil. We wish to keep in our remembrance all those lives that were lost, as well as all of those who continue to fight for our freedom still today and forever as a nation. With that said, we've got a great deal of news to cover this evening. The third school bus accident in McGoffin County since classes started, and that's not been that long. This did send one woman to the hospital. It happened in downtown Sagersville. And I fielded some calls yesterday from some individuals who own businesses or work at businesses on the Mountain Parkway, 114 if you will, in an area proposed to be annexed by the city of Sagersville. They were very concerned and showing their concerns to us and asking us to find out more about the annexation process, which they were understanding at the time was actually a done deal, so to speak, and that they were not going to have any say in the process any further from that point on. I posed those questions to Sagersville Mayor Pete Shepard earlier today. Another serious auto accident that happened on yesterday's program. I'll share a bit about a story that we'll have more on tomorrow about a major program that will be online 1 week from this Friday in McGoffin County in Sagersville, and how you have to participate to be a part of it. I'll tell you about Code Red and a reminder and just a brief follow-up or a prelude to a follow-up that we'll have on tomorrow night's show, and certainly next week. Also, a fatal auto accident in Johnson County. Just yesterday, I had the duty to report to you, sadly, the passing of a young boy from Johnson County who died in a Floyd County accident. Today, we know a fatal auto accident in Johnson County that appears this time to have claimed the life of someone from Floyd County. I'll tell you what I know on that front in just a few moments. Weather-wise, scattered showers and thunderstorms, small in size in nature, trying to work their way into the viewing area this afternoon and evening. A prelude of what I suspect will be more activity tomorrow. And then after that, we're still talking about clear blue sailing as far as skies are concerned. Temperatures also still holding pat to be the focal point of the forecast. Saturday's temperatures, where we're still looking at the upper 60s and mid 40s for your highs and lows. I'll pinpoint your forecast in more detail, of course, before we leave you this evening. It's called Code Red, and I've been following it since it was first announced in the McGoffin County Fiscal Court meeting where it first became knowledge to myself and the public. Well, now, since being adopted by McGoffin County, as it has been in many other Kentucky counties and elsewhere, it is going to be online 1 week from this Friday. But I'm told that you have to participate in order to be a part of the program. All it takes is going online or making a phone call and updating your information. The McGoffin County Judge's Office is utilizing the Code Red emergency notification system. It will be online 1 week from this Friday, and it will be literally phoning the entire McGoffin County community to announce and promote the Code Red weather warning system. It's an automated severe weather alerting service that's been in place in several counties and now is coming to ours. Calls are going to start going out next Friday morning at 11, and all calls will continue until the entire database has been attempted. There's going to be a message that's going to be delivered, and it's going to direct you, if you live in McGoffin County, to go to McGoffinCountyFiscalCourt.com, that website, to opt into the system. You get to there choose how you want to be notified, your cell phone, your home phone, email, text, what have you. Any and all methods that you want to utilize, but you have to go online or call the judge's office and have that done. Without that, the system is going to be basically useless to you. It's free. There's no charge to any individuals to participate. It's simply a way of letting us all know in the case of any severe weather or other emergencies. It's going to be online next Friday. We'll be talking with the local Director of Emergency Management, Mike Wilson, sometime very soon, hopefully as soon as tomorrow. He can tell us more and just exactly what we all need to do to be able to take part in this system. Once again, those initial calls will give us instructions, but we'll, of course, get you ahead of the game before that happens so that you can be looking for the phone calls on next Friday and already know what to do and maybe even already get your names and numbers and information registered. So we'll be talking more about Code Red very, very soon, online 1 week from this Friday. A couple of accidents to report to you this evening. First and foremost, the third school bus-related accident in the Magoffin County area in just as little as a few weeks since school has started. Fortunately, all three accidents, one as minor as being a bus in the ditch line, which had to be towed from the said ditch line, but all three involving empty buses with the exception of the driver. As far as the drivers on all three of the buses, they have refused medical treatment and not received any injuries as a result. Today's crash, however, involved a passenger car that was struck in the rear by a school bus in downtown Sagersville, and the female driver of that car was taken to an area hospital for what was considered to be non-life-threatening injuries. But nevertheless, injuries from a very significant impact.
We had a two-vehicle accident involving a Magoffin County school bus and a single passenger vehicle driven by a single driver, a lady of Magoffin County, Kentucky. The bus rear-ended the passenger car, bringing to arrest from the post office to the Sagersville City Hall. No students was on the bus at this time, just the driver and the passenger of the vehicle. The driver was not hurt with any injuries, and the passenger went to the hospital sustaining some minor to major injuries unknown at this time.
The cause of the crash is under investigation by Sagersville Police. The bus, once again, had no students on board. According to City Police Chief Matthew Watson, the bus driver's statement indicated that the car had made a sudden and abrupt stop in front of him and he was unable to avoid the collision. The driver of the vehicle stated that she really couldn't remember anything due to the impact. You can see the distance, though, from the impact. It actually happened at the entrance of the Sagersville Post Office, and the vehicle did not come to a final rest until some 150 feet from the collision. You can also see significant damage done to the passenger car, the driver of which was transported to the Paulby Hall Medical Center by TransStar Ambulance Service after being packaged at the scene. Now, here's what I can tell you at this hour about what has been reported to us and confirmed as a fatality, a fatal auto accident that happened in Johnson County just earlier this afternoon, sometime around the 3 o'clock time frame or so. It happened at the junction of 321 and 23 in Paintsville, just north of downtown, if you will. I have had it confirmed to us from eyewitnesses that it appeared as though a passenger car was exiting Route 321, pulling onto 23, and it appears as though that vehicle pulled directly into the path of a coal truck in that area, to the extent that the car appeared to have been nearly cut in half as a result of the collision. We only are told at this time that the car was believed to be a Floyd County vehicle based on a tag seen on the vehicle. Police were still on the scene as of the beginning of this program. If you're catching the early show, traffic had been reduced down to one lane southbound, and that was it for several hours. At 6 o'clock, that was still the case, as Kentucky State Police were still on scene and investigating, but all other lanes of traffic were closed. At this time, we only know those details. We'll have more for you maybe before we leave you, certainly on tomorrow's program. No identity or anything of that nature has been released, of course, pending notification of next of kin, and we'll have some more details for you just as soon as they're forthcoming. I also have some video just coming in of an auto accident that took place yesterday evening. I've got that reported and more information coming up in just a moment. 170s, 500, 570, 800, 900s, 2 seats, 4 seats, Razors, Rangers, and XPs in the hottest colors with the coolest accessories with the best financing available and rebates up to $1,000 at Connelly's, Kawasaki, and Polaris of Paintsville. They just keep coming. New and incredible flavors of your favorite ice cream treat. And now they've done it again with the choco-covered cheesecake blizzard at your Sagersville Dairy Queen. Creamy cheesecake pieces, rich cocoa fudge, decadent choco chunks, and creamy vanilla soft serve make your new Blizzard of the Month.
And if that's not enough, just for September, buy one Blizzard, get another for just 99 cents. That's right, 99 cents at your Sayersville DQ. Check out our daily specials to get even better after 4 o'clock only at your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe, where Thursday is Dipper Day. That's right, get our boneless wing choice of 2 homemade sides and a biscuit for just $4.99 or only $4.29 after 4 p.m. only at your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe.
At the end of every race, Mark Martin hangs up his driving gloves. He hangs up his fire suit. And he hangs up his helmet. Which is why he picks up his phone and opens the ER Extra app. The app shows ER Extra wait times, locations, and more. It's the one safeguard Mark Martin is never without. ER Extra at Paul B. Hall Regional Medical Center. Extra fast, extra easy, extra great.
Stop by to see how, with a guaranteed trade-in, you can drive off in this gorgeous 2011 Hyundai Sonata for $17,950 or $299 a month, or how to drive off with a little soul for $12,950 or $235 a month, or how to drive off with a lot of style in this Dodge Ram Daytona at $15,950, all at Premier Motors in Paintsville. Faster, friendlier, family-owned Parkway Pharmacy, open 8:30 till 6:30 Monday through Friday in the new McGoffin Medical Plaza under the care of local pharmacist Jesse Rudd. To make Parkway Pharmacy your pharmacy, come by or give us a call at 349-4400. The driver of a utility truck that crashed yesterday evening near Meatskin Road off of Gun Creek was out of the vehicle upon arrival of emergency personnel. He was taken to an area hospital, I believe Paul B. Hall in Paintsville, after being the only individual inside the truck, the only truck involved, or the only vehicle involved in that accident, as it plunged over an embankment and overturned in a creek. A utility work truck for a local trucking company was being operated, per reports by Tommy Conley, on Gun Creek Road yesterday evening. Reportedly dropped off the shoulder of the road and then failed to negotiate a curve, and the vehicle then went over the embankment. You can see just how it landed on its top in the creek. Now, it was first called in as a vehicle accident involving entrapment, meaning the driver could not escape the vehicle. However, upon arrival of the McGoffin County Rescue Squad, the Sheriff's Department, and the ambulance service, Conley was already out of the vehicle and had exited on his own free power and will, but was, however, taken by TransStar ambulance to the Paul B. Hall Medical Center for injuries he sustained in the crash, believed to be non-threatening. His vehicle, the one he was operating, was the only one involved in the accident. That is under investigation as far as the exact cause of which by the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department. More top stories in a few moments. Right now, some reminders and new announcements and a birthday, at least one or two, on tonight's community calendar, brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. Actually, one birthday wish tonight from her boyfriend Matt to Bobby Sue Wireman. He says your birthday's today, and he hopes you had the best one of them. Happy birthday, Bobby Sue Wireman, from Matt. All right, the McGoffin County Teen Coalition has a meeting set for tomorrow, 3 p.m. at the McGoffin County Health Department. That meeting will be in the community room, and the public is invited to attend. That's the Teen Coalition tomorrow. And the Girl Scouts of Kentucky has a McGoffin County registration event set for this Thursday. That's tomorrow, 6 to 7 in the Ramey Park at the first shelter. When you go down the bank over to your right, a representative is going to be on site for registrations. The registration fee is just $15 per girl. Bring your daughter for some fun activities and games. She could even earn her first patch for free. And you can bring your smartphone so they can register right away. For more information, contact Virgie Crouch. Her phone number is 784-7292. Young ladies, this is tomorrow at the Ramey Park in Sayersville from 6 to 7. And just in from our McGoffin County Extension Office, the Junior Homemakers and Funyun Homemakers are going to meet. The Junior Homemakers meeting at the Extension Office tomorrow evening at 6. Bring a friend to the meeting with you. And the Funyuns Homemakers are having their first meeting of the fall season tomorrow at 6, also at the McGoffin County Extension Office. The membership drive has been started, so bring your friend with you and join in the fun. And also from our McGoffin County Extension Office, Friendship Quilters, they will meet Friday at 10 o'clock that morning, and new members are always welcome. Yes, I know I misspelled Friday. They're also having a lunch and learn session Friday at noon. The lunch and learn lesson will be on beans, and more beans. And, you know, it's a free lunch and a good time. And I just got this in. It's been 20 years, kids. The McGoffin County High School graduating class of 1983 has their 20th reunion on this Saturday. It's a 2-event schedule. The Ramey Park from noon to 3 will be for the entire family. Bring the kids. It's for potluck event, $5 per adult. And then that evening they'll have dinner for the adults, the moms and dads and spouses and boyfriends and girlfriends and things of that nature, from 6 to 11 at the Ramada. That's $25 per person or $40 per couple. If you have any questions, call Amy Conley, Amy Holiday Conley, as you might remember her from class, 859-498-8052. The McGoffin County Board of Kentucky ASAP is meeting this coming Monday, the 16th at 6 p.m. at our McGoffin County Health Department. The 30th annual homecoming at the Sayersville Pentecostal Church of Christ begins September the 18th. You're all invited. And you're all invited to use our community calendar. Anytime you've got an announcement like these, birthdays, anniversaries, special announcements as well, they're all free. Get them to us. We'll put them on. I have one local funeral service announcement that's been forwarded to us by our friends at the McGoffin County Funeral Home, who tells us that they are handling arrangements in honor of 93-year-old John T. Arnott of Southeast Licking River Road, who passed away on Monday of this week. He was preceded in death by his wife, Josephine Hale Arnott. He's survived by daughters Edna Meadows, June Montgomery, and Tamara Arnott. Visitation continues this evening. It began at 6. It will also continue all day tomorrow and until services, which start in his honor at 11 o'clock that morning. Both visitation and services from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Arnott, a longtime businessman of McGoffin County and a longtime board member with the McGoffin County Board of Education, and also the namesake, of course, of the John T. Arnott Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Don McFarland. I am an attorney in Sayersville, Kentucky, and I'm here to serve you and meet your legal needs. If you have been injured on the job, if you are interested in receiving your disability or your SSI benefits, if someone's negligence has caused you trouble, basically, if you have been in a car wreck and you've suffered pain, then pick up the phone and call Donald Wayne, 349-9000.
Before you call anyone else, call Asphalt Paving Company, APC, for a list of local and area paving jobs that they've done and still look great after 15 or 20 years, and for an estimate on your blacktopping project. Driveways, parking lots, residential or commercial. APC has a 10-year guarantee, decades of experience, and a reputation for using the best materials to pave, resurface, seal, or stripe your property. APC, 859-983-6433. In stock right now and available for order, customized any way you would like. Maple City Pottery at the Seasonal Shop in Sayersville. Mixing bowls, preserve jars, utensil holders, dispensers, and more. And all these designs and more, purses and accessories by Just Millie. New clay bead jewelry and much more. And all the fall decor you can imagine or stand. It's at one stop, the Seasonal Shop, next to Fraser's Prater Drugstore in downtown Sayersville.
Let's do this. Can't believe my daughter wants to marry a Hatfield.
And I can't believe my son fell in love with a McCoy.
I got one thing to say. They're going to have the wireless plan with the best service.
And I say they're going to have the wireless plan with the biggest savings.
Daddy!
Hush up, Mary Beth.
Pa, stay out of this, Jonah.
We're done talking.
You got that right.
Better service.
Bigger savings.
Daddy, we've both got Appalachian Wireless. Better service.
Bigger savings.
That's today's Appalachian Wireless.
Sayersville Nursing and Rehabilitation Center is proud to announce the newest members of our family, Administrator Lane Jones and our full-time chaplain Mark Campbell and volunteer Richard Green, new faces with the same sincere desire as these, to assist you and your family with short-term rehabilitation solutions or long-term nursing care needs, close to home and those that you love. Sayersville Nursing and Rehabilitation. Regardless of the project, big or small, inside or out, Bailey's Carpet has your next job covered with service after the sale on Husqvarna and Red Max power tools and equipment. You covered with great deals on boots and clothing by Georgia, Red Wing, and Carhartt, and your floors covered with premium materials at low prices from Bruce, Armstrong, and more at Bailey's Carpet and Hardware in Sayersville. Fielded some calls yesterday from some business owners and representatives thereof
concerning businesses in the 114 area, specifically those that are in the area that's proposed to be annexed by the city of Sayersville. It's been an ongoing discussion and project now for months. Those calls yesterday voiced concerns about the possibility, as they were being informed or concerned, that the annexation process had already been completed or was a done deal, so to speak, without any further input from them. That was the question I posed to Sayersville Mayor Pete Shepard, who tells us that indeed it is still an ongoing situation while the city is still in full support of annexing that area.
No, the annexation is not a done deal. The last time we had the annexation brought up, we had some concerned citizens outside the city that really didn't want to be annexed, and they come in and voice some concerns about the maps and who was being annexed and who wasn't. So the city now has an employee. We've hired David Barmay to go out and redo the maps, make sure all the businesses are included in the annexation part that we want to have in the city, and to talk to the business owners, get the proper addresses, and then when we do file for annexation, everything will be in its proper form, and we'll have a public forum on it. People can come in and voice their opinion at one of the meetings, but it's nothing under the table. We want everybody to be aware of what we're going to do, but we are pushing for annexation. The city needs to be, that part of the parkway needs to be annexed for the city. That's just the bottom line.
Well, what will be the benefits for the city and or the people on the parkway?
The city will be added income. We can put more police officers on. We can get more for our fire department. Our general fund will have more. Our street department. It just money-wise, you know, it's a booming place up on the parkway, and it's going to go out, and it's outside the city limits. And with the new high school, especially being built up there, their employees and the high school itself is a big contributor to our general fund with their employee tax and with taxes and all that. And it's going to benefit, especially the high school wants to be in it, because our police officers are the ones that usually respond to any complaint they have at the high school. And them being outside the city limits is going to cause their fire insurance to be a lot more than what it would be inside the city limits. So it's a two-edged benefit for the city and for the school system and for any business out there. We can show you if they'll bring their insurance carrier in here, we'll show them where the property taxes they will have to pay will be less than what their insurance will go up if they're outside the city limits. There's this myth that the fire department can go 6 miles or 5 miles outside the city limits and their insurance considers that city limits. That's not true. The city limits is where the city limits is at. And when we go across that line, we're outside the city limits, and their insurances are being notified of that. When they call anymore, we've been having phone calls from insurance companies say, where is the city limits? And they are drawing the line, and because they are raising the premiums.
Shepard says the area in the proposed annex would add an additional 20 to 25 businesses into the city limits of Sayersville, and also the new high school. That, if it were to be lost, would mean about $80,000 in tax base that would be lost to the city of Sayersville. While there, I had time to ask him about ongoing blacktop and concrete projects, specifically sidewalk restoration, repair, and construction that the city has been taking bids on now for the past few weeks.
Bids right now on both projects. We've got 3 people going to give bids on the concrete, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll start repairing sidewalks and putting new sidewalks down. We have got our $61,000 in for blacktop. We have got some projects to be done, and quick as we get the bids from that, we are bidding that out too. And one of the first projects is doing our fire department parking lot, and then the rest will be used on streets for repairs and some new pavement put down in a couple areas that really need it in the city. Along with what the county's is going to do for the city with Oxford Branch and Cold Branch, we should have the streets in real good shape before wintertime. And with the concrete, I'm hoping with where we raised our tourism tax a little bit, we're starting to put money back each quarter for just concrete only, and we'll be extending the sidewalks up Route 40 and hopefully all over the city, and repairing the ones that are in need. So the first project is repairing the old ones, is getting them fixed, and then putting a new section down up towards Route 40.
I learned from the mayor today of a couple of other projects which he says appear to be either on or headed to the drawing board on the state level. He says he's pretty well had it confirmed that at some time they will, and that being the state, they will be straightening out the Ivy Point Hill. He has no time frame, but it is expected to be finalized at least sometime in the future. And that means taking out the very curvy section of the Ivy Point Hill and literally making a bypass in that area. Now, the exact layout and plans for which we don't have, but he says they are in the works at the state level. And also, I was glad to hear another widening effort, the entrance of what probably by that time will just be either the middle school or high school and the Sagersville grade school. And that means that instead of having one very narrow entrance and exit to the campus of those schools, that they are going to attempt to widen that. Also, the plans of which we have not seen, but they are said to be in the works. And those two projects appear to be on their way to becoming a reality sometime in Sagersville's future. With that said, I've got but one place to go, and that's to your Licking Valley RECC forecast, where, I don't know if you heard it while I was sitting here a little earlier, a few claps of thunder have been heard above, and that's just a sign of some things to come.
And it was accompanied by right at 0.8 of an inch of rainfall in that short period of time. And here you can see radar indications of it as it was just leaving. The sun was starting to make its way back out, and it looks as though we may be out of the rain for maybe the rest of the evening, barring any more pop-up storms, which have been just that. They've been popping up all over, hard to predict, and numerous in number. But for the most part, it looks as though the pattern indicates we might be dry at least for the next few hours, if not over the course of the evening. Oh, but this is all just a prelude of things to come, and this has nothing to do with the cold front that's on its way. We're still talking about temperatures tomorrow, and for the last day, into the mid-80s we'll go. 85, 63, we'll see showers and thunderstorms, quite likely afternoon. Anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch for a lot of areas, except in those isolated areas, which was like what we saw earlier this evening, which may pick up more, 1 inch, maybe even 2 in some isolated areas. It doesn't look as though it's shaping up to be a major rainmaker, but it is a significant cold front. We'll have to wait and see. It's just kind of a little too far out to tell. Nevertheless, we'll see things drastically cool down, and I mean drastically, 74 and 50 for your high and low on your Friday. We're still talking about 69, and that 46 or 49 might be a little bit of optimism there in Saturday mornings or Saturday's lows. I'm thinking closer to 46 degrees is what we're going to see for your low on Saturday. Yeah, folks, that's getting close to the low 40s. I don't think we'll get quite that low, but nevertheless, right now it's looking like closer to 46, maybe 45 on your Saturday after a 69-degree day. We'll talk about temperatures rebounding Sunday, 78 degrees and 56 and sunny when I see you back here next time. But as of right now, after tomorrow, which will be a bit bumpy, some lightning, thunder, and some showers associated with these storms, but thereafter, fall has arrived, or at least it will, and it's going to stick around for several days on end through your weekend and possibly thereafter. But that's all of my time for now. I wish to thank you for being a part of it and invite you to join us back here tomorrow night for more of Your News Today. Good night.